Hi, my name's Rob Scott from XR Today, and in this virtual walkthrough, I'm joined by Alex Howland, who's the president and co-founder at Virbela. And in this session, Alex is going to meet me in Virbela's open campus and step me through why he believes in making the concept of remote first a reality for remote work, virtual events, and remote working. Check it out.
Rob, great to meet you. Thanks for coming in. I'm Alex Howland, co-founder and president of Virbela. Founded Virbela back in 2012. I was actually pursuing a doctorate degree in organizational psychology, where I was studying people at the kind of individual, team, and organizational level within organizations, and saw virtual worlds and virtual reality as a place to really do team development and individual leadership development was the kind of original hypothesis and thesis. Since then, the platform has grown to become a place to actually replace brick and mortar offices. So it's been a fun journey over the years.
Great. Well, pleasure to meet you, Alex, and thanks for giving us a bit of background. It looks great. I mean, in terms of how you originally got into this, could you just very quickly give us a bit of background? You know, where did you start?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, I was pursuing a PhD in organizational psychology and actually saw what clinical psychologists were doing with virtual worlds for therapy purposes, helping treat phobias and do clinical sessions and those sorts of things, and thought, wow, this is a place where we could bring people, healthy people together in the workplace and give them an opportunity to interact with people in different parts of the world, hopefully build their cultural intelligence and business acumen. We could create simulations for them to, interact in the virtual world and give them feedback based on their behaviors. The original funding for Virbela came from GMAC, the owner of the GMAT exam to get into business school. They were looking for innovative ideas to improve graduate management education. And a colleague and I basically pitched the idea of a virtual world for the global MBA community, where they could network, participate in simulations, get feedback, those sorts of things. After winning that competition and getting close to a couple $1 million in grant funding in partnership with the University of California, San Diego, we did some interesting things with the MBA community, but quickly saw that there was interest outside of the MBA kind of population. So in 2015, the grant came to an end. We spun out into the private sector and started selling virtual worlds for various purposes, from education to work remote, to events and seeing different use cases. An interesting customer of ours since 2016 was eXp Realty. eXp Realty is a residential real estate brokerage that was actually, ironically, operating with no brick and mortar offices themselves. They're operating in a virtual world. In 2016, they were about 900 agents. Fast forward, 4.5 years later, I think they're over 45,000 agents and have become a multi-billion-dollar business. So really proving that you can actually grow and scale a business in the virtual world, and they get just immense benefits and not having, the costs of brick and mortar that they can offer their customer, in which case their case is the realtor, a better economic condition and better training because they're virtually everywhere. EXP actually acquired us in 2018, but we sit as a subsidiary, and their thinking is that while you've provided so much benefit to us, there's got to be other companies in different industries that can reap the benefits that we provided. So we've continued to scale the team and offer our services outside of eXp Realty.
Great, thanks. Hey, thanks for that. And if I could just ask you another question in terms of those use cases, those benefits that you bring to organizations that are working remotely or in distributed in kind of environments. What are the wins with your solution? What problems are you solving, you think?
Yeah, again, I often think at the individual team and organizational level. So at the individual level, what we're hearing is less Zoom fatigue, right? Like you can spend a lot of time in the virtual environment, and without being on camera, it's much less threatening. Uh, Also, less feelings of loneliness, right? Here, very quickly, you get this sense of social presence, and we bring back the serendipitous conversations that happen in an in-person office, again, without having to be on camera all the time, and people report being less lonely. At the team level, uh, we have a lot more opportunity again for these kind of organic collisions and kind of fun banter, if you will, because we're sitting in the same office. We don't have to constantly be scheduling meetings and on a conference call or those sorts of things. We're here just physically together. And then at the organizational level, I think there are a number of benefits. Obviously, the cost savings and not having brick and mortar, but you're also creating this sense of space. You're creating the sense of a headquarters, but no one is disadvantaged, right? No matter where you're employed, you're not at a satellite site. You're not one of the few remote employees. Everyone comes to the company headquarters. That company headquarters happens to be located in the cloud, right? So it's available everywhere. And then those typical silos that you see maybe across departments or teams, now everyone's here together on the same platform in this headquarters. So you're getting a lot more cross department, cross function interaction that typically you'd have to be face to face for, which I think helps build a healthy culture, a united culture, and keeps things interesting. We also think there are some benefits of being an avatar. There's some level of psychological safety. Again, not having your camera up or being face to face, that allows people to be a little playful. We see playful as a healthy thing for ideation, for leaning into difficult conversations, for having fun at the workplace, given how much time we spend at work.
And it does look fantastic. So, Alex, would you mind taking me through kind of some of the features and functionalities of the world we're in right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe what I'll have you do is just hold your left or right arrow key down for a second and do kind of a 360 spin. You'll get a sense that there are a number of things happening in this campus at the moment, and you see people around. We're actually at this private table. There's this blue dots on the floor around our table, which means we're in a private volume. Those outside that volume can't hear us, so we can have this private conversation, knowing that anyone can walk in, at any time. So we wouldn't want to be a super sensitive conversation. But outside this bubble, lots of conversations are happening. People are wondering about it's 3D distributed voice. So as people spread out, their voice falls off, which we can demonstrate in a bit. I just saw someone kicking a soccer ball. So there's some fun elements too.
Yeah, that's great.
But for now, why don't we go down to my office, so we can teleport there. So if you click on the top left, you'll see a go-to button, and then you'll see Virbela offices. Click on that. We can go to the Virbela first floor. So this is one suite of offices for our team. We're actually now on, I think, 5 different floors. So pretty affordable to scale, just quickly adding new floors without having to worry about leases and those sorts of things. In here, you'll see there are a number of kind of more public spaces, like the blue lines around these couches represent a private volume where a group could meet and have a discussion. And then there's a number of private offices. So again, giving people this sense of space is helpful, and having a sense of ownership in the space is helpful. So we walk over to my office. When we walk into my office, you'll hear a ding. We're crossing into a private volume. And if you click your mouse on a chair, you'll have a seat.
Great.
And this takes a little getting used to, but if you hit your space bar just once and then grab your mouse, you can look around the room. So you can see, more ways
Right.
to personalize your space. I have a picture of my family up to your right, my left. And you'll see some web boards. There's a web board behind me. There's another one behind you. And those web boards work just like any kind of browser. I can go to a web page. I can Google something. I can share my screen. So lots of different options uh, on these boards.
So just in terms of what kind of experience is this? Would you call this a kind of like a 3D collaboration space, or what do you call this type of environment?
We see this technically as a virtual world, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to recreate a virtual headquarters, right? We are the office, right? Rather than just a collaboration tool, we are a place to go. It's always up. It's always available, 24/7, for use in various purposes. Most of our users are logging in on a Mac or a PC. We have a mobile app that allows you to connect to the different voice channels, but it's not a 3D experience, at least not yet. You can get in here with PC VR, so tethered VR headset. You can get in here as well. But I have been focused on accessibility. So since starting the company, you see a lot of companies be, these VR first companies, and we're a people collaboration company first, right? So we think about accessibility. We want people to not have to have any fancy machine to get into Virbela. We want it to be inclusive. And we think the social elements are the elements that really matter over the device that you're coming on. It doesn't mean as VR progresses, there won't be times where you want to be in virtual reality and it will make sense to be in virtual reality. In some cases, we create virtual reality simulations, for example, for the military. But typically, on a day-to-day, you couldn't pay me any amount of money to be in a headset for 40 hours a week. Whereas in Virbela, when it's on a flat screen, I don't have the Zoom fatigue. I personally work from dual monitors, so I can have Virbela up on one monitor, and I can be, doing something else or have something else visible on another site. I still have access to my keyboard, so I can work really efficiently, which hasn't been solved very well in VR yet. But again, we think less about the technology. What we want to do is create a sense of immersion and social presence, that people focus on the collaboration rather than the technology itself. Referred to as like reading a book, right? When you first start reading a book, you're paying attention to the black and the white on the paper. But soon as you get better at reading, you get immersed in the story. Right. And we want people to get immersed in Virbela, kind of forget that they're in a virtual environment and just feel like they're together with colleagues.
Okay, so in terms of communicating with colleagues, I can see a list of names up on the top left-hand side. Can I just kind of find someone and click to call them, or can I go to their location? How does that work?
Yeah, there's actually a click to locate, and you're seeing the people in this suite of offices in the top right. There's another place I can actually search the entire world for different people. So we see there are 249 people in this version of Virbela at the moment, and 21 people in this scene. So we can get up and we can have a walk around if you'd like and see if we can bump into some folks. Sorry to barge in. We're just
Hey, everybody.
saying hello. This is Rob. Just showing Rob that we can walk into someone's office and say hello. And there they are. So
Hi, Craig.
apologies.
Nice to meet you, Rob. Hi, Chloe.
Hello.
Thanks for
Right.
dropping in.
You can see Craig has personalized his space. You can see there's actually different configurations for the desk and those sorts of things. We can actually head this way and take a look at the conference hall or the conference room that Cap was mentioning. Again, so it's really nice, and we find the size of space matters, right? Those offices, we can shut the door, we can have a private, intimate conversation. Here, good for groups of 20 or 30 or so. Lots of wall space. Again, you can sit, you can actually change the layout of the room depending on what type of session you're going to have.
That was going to be my next question, actually, Alex, around different spaces. So, if there are, say, 50 people in this room, can we huddle together and have separate conversations?
Yes. So the way this scene works, we'll show you some where you can have conversations by table. This one, it's kind of by office or by where you see these blue markings on the floor represent a private space. So we could do like an all hands in this room and then break into separate offices or couch areas for a number of different discussions.
Great. And if you wanted to present something to the team, can you do that?
Yep. So if you look up at the, this is an example of a board here. And if I click on that, a URL comes up and you can bookmark things just like you would on a browser. So here's some slides I had already uploaded.
Oh, great.
And if you look at the top of your screen, you should see a screen zoom button.
Aha. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, and there's a number of different boards in here. Actually, some of them are pulled up. So I can put more boards down. So if you want to be viewing a number of things at once, you can do so. So sometimes we might have the agenda, up on a board. Someone might have their camera on. Might be a presentation on one. You can collaborate on Google Docs in here.
You can drop those down virtually anywhere that you choose, essentially.
They're pre-located spots.
Okay, great.
Really good. See YouTube videos and such through them.
I must say, it's very clear. The experience is really smooth, glitch-free. I can see myself hanging out in a space like this, working in a space like this throughout the day. And it as you say, it doesn't feel like you're going to get fatigue anytime soon.
Right. We certainly believe so and see it happening. So we're going to go back out to the campus, do a little tour there, and then we'll go to the auditorium.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Virbela Open Campus. Let us know if you have any questions by using.
So you notice his voice falls off as we move away from the landing area.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
And we staff it just like you'd staff, a brick and mortar office, right? You'd have reception at your brick and mortar office. So we have reception here. We also
is that a real human being or
that's a real human being? Yep.
Okay.
We have that landing area staffed 24/7 for our global users. And if you look to your right, it looks like there might be a tour getting started there. So we run tours, we do information sessions, really try to engage the community. We host events. Actually, I think there might be an event going on in our speakeasy, which we'll show you in a little bit. But you can see lots of interaction going on in different parts of the world. You'll notice the water is green and the rainbow is bright for St. Patrick's Day. So we have different themes for different parts of the year, different holidays. Trying to, again, increase kind of that social engagement.
So this campus is quite customizable. You can change it, to suit on a regular basis.
Yeah, there are different kind of themes that we can apply. 4th of July, we do fireworks at the beach, which is a lot of fun. We have winter holiday themes with snow. So people can rent space within this open campus that's accessible, affordable, and private, password protected, so they can be part of this bigger community, but still have their private space. And then we also offer enterprise private campuses, which is basically everything you see here. they can have. They can customize their go-to menu and decide what they want to call their auditorium and all that sort of stuff. They can brand it to represent their branding. They get kind of the whole world, if you will.
Great. It makes complete sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't we, what I might have you do is spin around and why don't we take a walk over to the beach? You'll notice there are signs around, so we can teleport places or walk into buildings. You'll see lots of Virbela branding, but that could be any branding. That could be art on the wall. So lots of opportunities to kind of right-click and upload an image to your liking for customers.
This is great. I'm starting to pick up the background noise now. The birds tweeting, and I can hear the water.
Yeah. It's funny, that sense of immersion. We hear about people who will say, I just sat at the beach for a couple hours because it's so cold here, in Chicago, and things like that, or people in the water that say, oh, it's so hot in Texas, it's just nice to get in the water. And you kind of scratch your head and be like, that's fake, right? You're not actually feeling those things, but it's kind of funny how easily it is to fool our minds and get that sense of presence. So you can see a couple conversations going on here. Mark and Cam are in a private area in front of me here. You can see that they're talking, which is nice. You get a sense of who's having conversations, but you don't hear them unless you enter their blue bubble. Looks like someone's going for a boat ride behind them. See if they know how to operate it. There's a stage over here where we'll do live events or concerts. Looks like they didn't get going on the boat. You want to take a look at the boat for a second?
Sounds good.
So if you click on a seat in the boat, you'll get into the boat. There you go. Why don't you click on the driver's seat?
Great.
Now you can use your arrow keys.
So how big is this world that you've created?
It's I don't know how to describe it. It's not that big. We could get around it probably in less than 5 minutes with the speedboat. If you keep going, actually, there's another port we can pull into. Back near the safety first. I think right around this bend.
You can tell I'm not a very good gamer.
You can get through under that bridge. This is back towards the welcome area.
Oh, well, that was strange. I actually ducked my head then.
Yeah. Give you a sense of the immersion.
There we are. How's that?
Good. Perfect. And you can click the ground. Yeah, look at that. Fast learner. Why don't we go to the auditorium next? All the things you do in a typical auditorium, you can do here. We've gotten crowds as big as almost 2,000 in this one room. And what's interesting is you really get a sense of being in the room with those 2,000 people, even though it's essentially, avatars sitting in the audience, looking at people up on stage as the presenter. Again, so I might have slides up on one, I might pull up my camera on the other, different options on different screens. You'll notice again the screen zoom options at the top of the window to give you make sure there's no bad seat in the house. And then there are a number of things. If you actually turn and look at the back wall, I can actually make this room bigger or smaller.
Oh, well, that's impressive.
Depending on the the audience that I believe I'm going to have. And again, it just like in the real world, right? It's awkward if you have a few people in a really large room and vice versa. So this gives you that flexibility.
really nice. You really thought about that, because that's certainly something that can make the difference in, an auditorium or kind of lecture theatre.
Yeah. We've had a real benefit. A lot of people think these tickets are about the future, and we certainly believe so too. But we've grown a multi-billion-dollar business, on this platform in our sister company eXp Realty. So we've learned just a tremendous amount by them having thousands and thousands of people in it daily. It's allowed us to iterate really quickly and make sure we're meeting people's needs.
And what are the challenges that you're up against, Alex, in terms of that feedback that you've got from the organisation? What are users looking and teams looking for the most?
Yeah, so they're looking for fight the Zoom fatigue, right? There's some level of interest in it's like any org change, right? It takes some time. There's sometimes some resistance to change, and you got to get to that point where it's a habit. And the leaders who can push through that resistance to change to get people operating in here really are the ones who I think see the most benefit. Again, when you're a first time user, first couple of time user anyway, there's what are the controls and how do I go here? You learn those quite quickly, and as soon as you can get past those barriers is when you can really feel the sense of immersion and sense of social and physical space. So I think those are the benefits. We get constant requests for different things, and that's how we've diversified the platform, right? We have an expo hall now, which we'll show you. We'll have a speakeasy now because people wanted a more fun social space. So the beauty too of the virtual world is take feedback and develop it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, where are we heading to next?
Where should we go, Chloe?
How about, should we go to the speakeasy or should we end with the speakeasy?
Yeah, let's go to the speakeasy.
Okay.
Who's having the event in the speakeasy at the moment?
Financial Times.
Financial Times is having an event. I actually think DJ Jazzy Jeff, like literally DJ Jazzy Jeff, is performing in the speakeasy right now. So when we enter, it's likely going to be loud. So have a look around for a minute or two, and then let's go to the expo hall after that, because we probably won't be able to talk because it will be so loud in the speakeasy.
Okay, so I'll follow you to the expo hall after the speakeasy.
Yeah, and we'll probably do the go-to. So when you see me disappear, I'll send you a private chat.
Sure.
All right, so go to the speakeasy. So you'll notice in the bottom right, there's lots of dance moves here. So when there is music, you get a lot of people busting a move.
All right, so let's do a twist. The Gangnam Style, I'm liking it.
You get a lot of people dancing in here, and there's live music. Like it's a real sense of immersion and being together. We held our company holiday party in here, and we actually had DJ Jazzy Jeff was his first performance in here, and it was a blast. We've grown from 20 folks to about 160 folks in the last year. So it's a good way to break down those social barriers, get to know each other, have a laugh. It was fun.
That's really great. I can see it. So loud music, people dancing, people chatting. I think it's great. Yeah, I would love to come to a live show here.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you to the next live show here. This is the open campus. It's open 24/7 for anyone in the world who's going to behave properly, in here. Everyone's welcome. Invite friends, colleagues. And there's stage controls and things. You can actually get your performer ready. That's pretty funny. There's a dingy bathroom. The only bathroom in Virbela is somewhere in here, and it's, I think, out of order. But again, try to be playful. There you go. Let's go to the expo hall.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. So as you can imagine, when the pandemic hit, a lot of events were scrambling to figure out what to do. So we quickly created this scene from Expo Hall for events, but also poster sessions or vendor sessions. Lots of different use cases for this Expo Hall. Our parent company and sister company ran their 2 annual in-person conferences in Virbela instead, and had about triple the attendance that they would have had, in person at Disney World. And all their vendors, could come. It's quite accessible, and so you walk around. This is a large space. A lot of spaces similar to how you'd experience an expo hall in the physical world. Lots of private tables for networking, interaction. You see a lot of the Virbela logo that could be, different brands represented in the space. All these booths, and they can actually be staffed, right? So different representatives, all the different brands can be there. They're all private volumes, sound volumes in those blue markers. So literally hundreds of conversations can be happening at once in here. When you're in the public space here, as I walk away, my voice will fall off. Get louder as I come closer. Again, so similar feel as a brick and mortar expo.
I really like it. Yeah. So can you interact with the booths, pick things up and watch videos, that kind of thing?
Yep. So you can certainly post PDFs, images, websites, videos, talk to, real human beings at the booths. And those load when you enter into the space. And we allow, exhibitors to kind of right click and make sure they get their brand imaging just right. It represents their company colors and all those sorts of things. Lots of thought has gone into us. You can see Mercedes-Benz must have been here for an event. Some things still up, but you get a sense of their brand. There are different size booths, right? So if you have different types of sponsors or how you want to monetize the space, you can charge more for those bigger areas. You can also have a number of them, right? So we've seen really large multi-thousand events where there might be 5 or 6 expo halls in the go-to menu to spread people across all those different scenes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So hugely scalable, I imagine, very customizable, and very engaging, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, we really try to bring that social component back, not just another webinar type feel. Give event producers an opportunity to monetize by selling booths.
Yeah, what's really impressed me, Alex, is the audio. For one, it's seamless. I can't, tell you how clear it is. It's really good listening to you. But also, once you get into your avatar, I suppose, clothes, you can kind of almost, just be immersed with the conversation and look around and interact with things. So, yeah, it's a really, really cool experience.
Yeah, thanks. One of the things we want to do, the avatar provides is a sense of autonomy, right? Typically in a webinar, something one person's driving the show. Here we give the user the option to go where they want to go, talk with who they want to talk to, attend the sessions that they want to attend, network with those who they want to network, or go have fun by playing on a on a speedboat.
Yeah, I can see how this is transforming, the world of work right now, and really bringing organizations and people together and giving them that feeling of connectedness. Wow, that was a pretty cool backflip. How did you do that?
Yeah, so different emotes too. If you click on your name in the top left, you'll see a number of emotes there that you can do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I see. That's really cool. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time today, Alex. This is fantastic. Having seen Virbela now, I can really see the use cases, especially for remote work and as you say, picking up on serendipitous conversations and just feeling like you're still part of the office no matter where you are. So I certainly wish you all very, very much success with Virbela, and I look forward to dropping back in sometime soon.
Thanks so much. Great to meet you, Rob, and hope to keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely. Look forward to connecting again at some point soon.
All right, great.
A big thanks to Alex and the team at Virbela. If you're interested in a test drive of the Open Campus, you can find out more at virbela.com. I'm Rob Scott from XR Today. Thanks for watching.